Joanne, will you call the roll?
Mr. Perry?
Here.
Ms. McKinney?
Here.
Ms. Richards?
Here.
Mr. McKinney?
Here.
Dr. Teray?
Here.
Ms. Campos? Mr. Latham?
Here.
6 present.
All right, we have a quorum. At this point, we'll go to item number 3, the character trait of the month, and it looks like Mr. Mike Shelton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members. It's good to see you all back at Metro Tech and having this opportunity to address the board, and this is kind of normal, and it feels good. Character trait of the month is compassion. 1 year ago, I had the opportunity last December to have the character trait and talk about gratefulness. And I talked about how grateful I was to work at Metro Tech. Not knowing that there was going to be a pandemic, but I want to just add on there, I am grateful for the architects of Career Tech. The money still keeps coming in, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, and that's a good thing. But compassion, I'm grateful to have asked some friends what their thought of compassion was, and I got a bunch of different answers of what compassion meant to them. I can tell you this, a lot of people say it's about being empathetic or sympathetic to where people are, somebody told me, meeting people where they are, and I believe in all of those things. But sometimes, especially after 10 months of a pandemic, you have those things that you can see and those things that you cannot. So we have to be compassionate and love one another. I want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. At this point, we'll do, I think we got the moment of silence.
Moment of silence. Would you please stand for a moment of silence? Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shelton. At this point, we'll move to item number 4 on the agenda, the superintendent's report, and turn it over to Superintendent Collins.
Thank you, sir. It's good to see everyone together. It's been a few months since I've been able to do this with the board, so this is great to see you in this capacity. Just a couple of announcements. Miss Miriam Campos sends her regards. She had a previous commitment already for today, and so with the change of the schedule, it caused a conflict, but she does send her regards and wish that she was here with us tonight, this afternoon. Enrollment data has been sent to board members. We'll wait and see if our board meeting will be in person or by Zoom on January 12th, so we'll see how that turns out and what I believe Mr. Latham, what the legislators decide to do in January when they reconvene. We celebrate Amanda English Eastridge on being named the 2021 National Teacher of the Year by the Association of Career and Technical Education, and I'm excited about that. It's great to see that Zara Triana, a cadet at our South Bryant campus a few years ago, graduated from the Police Academy last week, and there will be one former cadet in the upcoming academy. 9 former students are applying for the September Academy. So that was the vision in starting that, and so that's working. I'm really excited about that. Construction programs are going well, and more to come when it comes to construction. And we are grateful to our teachers who continue to reimagine education in this pandemic and the work that they are doing. Continue to be appreciative of the work facilities and maintenance are doing to ensure that this is a clean environment, and we're appreciative of the continued protocols that are being followed to keep us safe and clean as we continue to strive to remain calm during this situation. We will at this time begin virtually on January 4th and reevaluate the situation on January 15th. So we will do that. Grateful for the works that's been done in terms, again, maintenance has been busy, grounds has been busy, as we've had a couple of snowstorms, and so preparing for school and entrance. In January, we'll be sending information to the board to discuss district-wide strategic planning. That will involve a steering committee, or these are the discussions that I want us to have in January, and we'll be sending information to you. But looking at it being a steering committee, as well as focus groups, town hall meetings, be about a 6-month process, and would include ensuring that our logo, our mission, and vision all align. And then after deciding that and the board having those conversations, we can make any changes then to that in July. And of course, those would all be voted on, but would give us then the time frame to be able to make any changes if we decide to do any, to have those ready July 1. Grateful to the district accreditation team and over 100 Metro Tech employees that participated in the accreditation process, as well as a couple of board members. I'm grateful for the 6 committees we had within this process, the work that Randa did to ensure a smooth site visit, so we appreciate Randa. Thank you, Randa. We have sent out the areas of improvement, and you've seen those, as well as the areas of strengths to you and to Metro Tech employees. That concludes my report.
I have a question for you, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
On the accreditation report, was there anything that the opportunities for improvement, was there anything that you personally consider serious?
Wow, that's a really, really good question. I would say that the one that I would say would be serious would be that of the hours, 50 minutes, and then 10-minute break, and so 50 minutes of instruction for every 60 minutes. The administrative team has already met, and Mr. Martin has already met with the union in discussion, and so we have a plan to rectify the situation, and they're sending that information. May have already been sent this afternoon, and that will not be then on the report when they go to the board, Career Tech Board in February, because we've taken care of it now.
Okay.
So I'd say that's the biggest thing, and that it's being rectified. It has been rectified.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we'll move on to presentations. And Superintendent Collins, I'll turn it over to you for that.
And I will turn it over to Dr. Stephanie Bills to recognize.
Hey, everybody. Good evening, boards. Superintendent Collins, President Latham. We are very blessed to have such an amazing IT group. And tonight, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to our director who leads that group. They have certainly moved mountains during COVID. We have a lot of heroes here at Metro Tech, but none more than our IT staff. They have ensured that all of us have stayed connected technology-wise, to include our students and even our board as well. And so I know that Mr. Davis is anxious to share with you about his staff, so help me welcome Jason Davis, our IT director.
Thank you, Stephanie, for that introduction. And good evening, board and superintendent. I'll try to keep this short. I'm not good at presentations. I am Jason Davis. I'm the IT director for Metro Technology Centers. I've been working here for about 23 years. First started out as just a field computer tech. and just worked my way up over the years as I've been here. And just recently, been promoted into the director's position, which I hope to really help us advance and move forward as we get through this pandemic and past it. A quick introduction to just talk about some of the, I call them magicians, some of the magicians behind the scene that help keep everything working. So like magic, keeping the internet going, keeping everyone connected, all the software working. So I thought I'd start out by introducing each of the members of our department. We got Tanya Panther, she's our receptionist and bookkeeper, helping keep our budget in line. Billy Markman, she is our first level support. When you call in, she manages our workflow. She also works and manages our IT inventory of equipment around the district. We've got Antoine Wilson, Vincent Stewart, and Marshall Bingham. Those are our systems technicians. They're the ones that most people around the district will see. They're the ones that go out, fix computers, put labs together. They are the three primary people we use or rely on for keeping the computers in the classroom and staff up and working. We've got Roxy Snyder and Rebecca Russell. They are our data technicians. They do so much more than that. I mean, Roxy works on the phone system, keeps communications up and going, works on state reports, I mean, all kinds of things. Rebecca Russell has been more of a database wizard here recently. After Haniel left about a year ago, she has stepped up and filled in for what Haniel did. And she's been doing a really awesome job. We've got Gina Ellis and Marcy Huddleston. They are our systems specialists. They help more of a higher level of the projects that are going on. They work with the systems technicians to keep them on task and on projects, to keep them in salute and fix problems. And then we've got our network specialist, Alec Ramirez. He keeps all of our servers up and running, keeps firewall going, keeps the internet up and working, network switches. I mean, he does a lot of stuff on the backside to help ensure that everyone stays safe and up and going and communicating on the internet. We've got also, since the beginning of school, we recruited an intern, Ryan Harrison. He is actually an intern from Dorothy's CRN program. He's been a really big help at just keeping things going. He was a big hand in helping get prepped all the laptops and hotspots that we got out and ready for our students for the distance learning. So that is everyone in our department. Those are the magicians, keeping things working. Just a couple stats on what the department does. We manage over 7,000 network, computer type devices throughout the district, from servers to phones. We support over 4,000 software packages from just Autodesk, Microsoft to Google web browser plugins around the district as well. A few of the projects we have recently worked on is moving classrooms, staff, and our main network closet at our South Bryant campus out of Building A, so we can move forward with the renovation project and giving PSA a whole new layout and new place to have class. Prep and deploy the laptops for the distance learning and hotspots. In the process of developing a new student information system that is planned to be deployed next summer. And we're also researching a new LMS system that we're going to deploy and almost alongside of it. We're planning on having about a year after that student information system is deployed to get everyone on board and get it prepped and everyone using it. And then the last one is upgrading our network infrastructure. We've been on our current network infrastructure, which is switches, routers, firewalls, for almost 10 years now. It's gotten really dated. It's tired. It's ready to take a nap. And there's a few pieces of equipment that's already trying to take a nap. And it's keeping us busy, just keeping those things going. And that's about all I got as far as the presentation for our department. Do you guys have any questions?
What's on your mask? I can't see it from here.
What's on my mouth?
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's my car.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell from here. What do you drive?
I drive a 2012 Ford Shelby GT 500.
It's not a public record.
The slow car. Yeah, right.
It can be, but it doesn't like to be. It can be.
Well, thank you very much for your any questions.
Appreciate Jason and the staff and the work that they did. As you know, we kept some information flowing to you over the summer as they were preparing those computers and unboxing all of those computers that have been ready for our students. So we're grateful for their work and appreciative of it.
Thanks for having me up here.
Thanks for being here, Jason. Mr. Latham, we will skip number 2. They were unable to come under presentation recognitions.
Okay. We'll move to C, financial report. Treasurer's report. Mr. Bruce Campbell, I believe.
Good afternoon. It's
Good afternoon.
really nice to finally get to meet with you all in person. And so appreciate the board and I appreciate Superintendent Collins. I would like to present a brief treasurer's report for November 2020. District continues to be in good financial condition. We received our first 2 significant payments of current ad valorem tax, the second one being received today. So about $4.3 million has come in over the past 2 weeks, and that certainly will turn around that cash flow situation that occurs during the first several months of the fiscal year, every fiscal year. And probably by the end of December, we'll have a pretty good idea as to what the trend is looking like compared to last year, compared in terms of collections, how collections are going. That's on everybody's mind as to whether collections will stay at a current level or whether more things will fall into a delinquent category. So I'm hoping by the end of December and certainly by the end of January to know where we're at on that and be able to report that to you. As mentioned in the memo from the treasurer, the most significant challenge that we're facing right now, as in the treasury area, is to maximize returns on funds that we have available to invest. And interest rates have just completely tanked, and there's so much cash out there in the banking system that there's no demand for cash investments. And so we continue to turn over every rock that we can, looking for a way to eke out a little more yield and increase those returns for the district. So we'd be happy to address any questions that you might have about the financial report this afternoon.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Move to item D, and Superintendent Collins, you want to highlight some of the upcoming events?
Yes, sir. So winter break is coming up, starting on Monday, and classes, as was stated, will resume January 4th, and then the board meeting scheduled for January 12th at 5:30, and we'll see how that goes, and we'll keep you abreast of that. Martin Luther King Day, the offices are closed then on Monday, January 18th. The foundation annual Sowing the Seeds of Success banquet is scheduled for April 29th, and we've shifted, as you know, shifted to that date. And then the Greater Oklahoma City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, that will be Friday, June 4th.
Thank you very much. All right. Board member reports. Do we have any reports?
Yeah, Mr. President, I have a report. The last 3 weeks, we've had 2 campus master plan meetings via Zoom, been very fruitful. I don't even have a list right here with me, but I should have, but with all the construction that's going on now and almost completed, you're at the end of the rope on some of them and just barely starting on others. We started out here in the foyer, I guess today or yesterday. They got dirt everywhere. And the trick there is we're gonna be voting on that in item 8, I believe, tonight. And I'm sure we're gonna press on with that because it's the right thing to do and it needs to get done. We don't want to stop these guys from working. The stuff that we think we've already set in place to go into motion. We have a number of projects that are on the brink of really putting our signature on the line and putting a lot of money out. Major projects that Matt, or not Matt, but
Joe?
Jeff Myers is Joe Myers. Where's Joe? I saw him. There you go. I was looking for you so I could figure out who you were, Joe. Joe's and his team are doing an excellent job. Thank you. I feel better now. And Joe and I spoke on the phone today, and then we did our Zoom thing earlier. And I think it would be prudent, if we could, to have Joe and whoever else he'd like to drag along with him to give the board the whole briefing that we got last week of where we are, what's about to start, where we are financially. They've come up with a lot of cost-saving ideas that the board needs to be aware of where we're headed, what we're doing on our lights, on our overhead panels. All this, it seems like little things, but you start adding those little things up, next thing you know, we're 2 years into it, and we need now, the board, I think, needs to at least have a view of our, we've been doing a lot of this, about 2 years now. Yes, that we've been planning and dreaming and hoping. Well, now we're into that process of making things happen, and I would think that we'd like to see Joe probably in January or February meeting to give us all an overview, executive overview of where are we and where we're going to be in 6 months. I'd really like to do that, and gosh, I had something else on my mind. It just flies out. And Elizabeth, I know you probably have something to add.
No, not really.
Well, we spoke today. I think we've ironed out whatever questions we might have had. That's why we called Joe. We had some questions of why are we doing that and not doing this. They're little things, but those little things, if you let them ball up, they get wrapped around the axle. And next thing you know, you're in deeper trouble than you'd like to be. I was telling Ron earlier, though, they can't mess anything up so bad we can't fix it. All we got to know is it's broke. And that's kind of our job, to figure out if it's broke or not. But I'm very pleased, personally and professionally, that what is happening in the construction portion of our plan. It's going along fine. We're about to finish stuff across the street. That's a big deal. And then the stuff on South Bryant is really cooking. They got shovels and picks and forks and things like that going on over there. And we'll have a really nice campus on both ends of this street here before long. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And I just want to say that I echo that Joe's done a great job, and Mr. McKinney, I appreciate you spearheading a lot of that. So, and for those of you following at home, on the masks, he has Marvin the Martian on his mask.
Mr. Latham,
That's my
Yes,
Marvin
I,
mask.
I've had the pleasure of serving on the accreditation committee, and a question came up, and I told them I could not answer. It came up from a parent, but before I do that, I want to commend the accreditation committee. It really did go smoothly.
Good.
A parent asked the question about the certification of programs and whether a student had to be legal. Rand, I don't know if that question got back to you all, but that question was raised by a parent who said they felt like some of the students were reluctant to pursue some of our programs because of the application process and the requirement to be legal. I could not answer the question, and I did say I would bring it up so that perhaps it could be researched, because I felt like there were some state requirements that needed to be addressed. So I just wanted to bring that up tonight.
So there are two that I would say programs that we're careful of when we're talking to people about doing the programs, because we know the steps that they would have to take. I would say, and Randa can help me, is that barbering and cosmetology is going to be the number one, because that is one that is through the state and state licensing. And so we are aware of that, and we talk to students about that. I believe the second one, Randa, is LPN with the state certificate. In aviation.
Yeah,
So-
aviation, federal.
So those are the three programs, and I do know, talking to the counselors and our guidance counselors, that they are aware of those.
Okay.
And do speak to students. So those are the big three, would
Okay.
be cosmetology, barbering, aviation, and nursing.
And if you want to know the name, I'll be happy to share
We
that,
can share
the
that
first
also.
name with you that I have. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
President Latham?
Yes, sir.
After 11 years on the board, I finally drew a competitor for my seat.
Stone him, stone
And
him.
the election is April the 6th, and the gentleman's name is Stephen Stafford. I can tell you this, that I'm going to work real hard to retain my seat, but if this young man were to beat me, he is a good man. And I've known his family for 20 years, and I know his mother and dad and his sister, and so District 1 will be well represented no matter what happens. But if you know people who would matriculate into John Marshall, that's pretty much my district. So if you want to help me, help me. But he's a good man too, so thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, we don't want to lose you, though.
Well, I appreciate that.
I don't know how you could lose with a festive shirt like that. That's gonna
That's
be,
right. Well,
that's gonna
it's
win votes
Christmas.
right there.
It's Christmas. It's my Christmas shirt.
All that corporate knowledge.
Okay, are we done? The Personnel Committee met via Zoom on November 18th to review district personnel items. We had general discussions on two major items, and I mean lengthy, all right, discussions on job change requests and salary schedules. And you have a mounting of information in our backup regarding some personnel matters. So if you didn't take time to go through that, it's very informational. We know how many vacancies we have, we know how many employees we have, and we know what needs to be changed. So please take time to review that very carefully.
If I may add, if I'm not out of line, President Latham, is we're grateful to Mr. Martin and the HR staff in getting all that information together, and also very grateful to Miss Joanne collecting it all and putting it together for the board. So we are grateful for that work that was done to prepare for today's board meeting.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for adding that. And as I said, lengthy. It was a very lengthy discussion, thanks to those who were responsible for getting the information together for us.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah.
And I'll just add that I really appreciate all the board members and their work on these committees, from accreditation to personnel to campus master plan. I know that's extra time out of your schedule, and I know what you make for doing this job, and so I really appreciate all of you taking your time and helping out on these committees. I think the committee process has actually been really smooth lately, and I think we've found it to be productive on a lot of different fronts. So greatly appreciate everyone's help with that. So.
Oh, we're compensated so handsomely.
Most wouldn't call it lucrative, but it's there. So that's not why we do it. We do it because we care.
It's a labor of love.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any other board member reports? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 5, Chief Officer and Associate Superintendent board reports. Anything anyone needs to add there?
Just hope that the board continues to see the gold nuggets in those reports and really helps you in your leadership and what you do by knowing what's being done and how it's being done. So grateful to our officers in doing those, and then grateful to our boards in reviewing those.
Very good reports. I appreciate them. It may be voluminous, but they're informative.
They are.
All right, item number 6, motion to approve the minutes from the November 10th meeting. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Joe, do we have any discussion?
Ms. McKinney?
Aye.
Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Dr. Teray?
Aye.
Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Latham?
Aye.
All aye.
Item 6 carries. Item number 7, consent docket. Do we have a motion?
I move approval, Mr. President. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Joanne, will you call the roll?
Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Ms. McKinney?
Aye.
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Dr. Teray?
Aye.
Mr. McKinney?
Aye.
And Mr. Latham?
Aye.
6 aye.
Item 7 carries. Item number 8, general business.
Move to approve general business items.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Joanne, will you call the roll?
Ms. McKinney?
Aye.
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Dr. Teray?
Aye.
Mr. McKinney?
Aye.
Ms. Richards? Mr. Latham?
Aye.
All aye.
Item number 8 carries. Item number 9, personnel. Do we have a motion?
I move we vote approval of personnel items.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion in 2 seconds. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Joanne, will you call the roll?
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Dr. Teray?
Aye.
Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Ms. McKinney?
Aye.
Mr. McKinney?
Aye.
Mr. Latham?
Aye.
All aye.
Item number 9 carries. Item number 10, encumbrances and purchasing. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve encumbrances and purchasing.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Joanne, will you call the roll?
Dr. Teray?
Aye.
Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Ms. McKinney?
Aye.
Mr. McKinney?
Aye.
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Latham?
Aye.
All aye.
Item 10 carries. Item 11, do we have a motion to move to executive session?
I move we move into executive session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Joanne, will you call the roll?
Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Ms. McKinney?
Aye.
Mr. McKinney? Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Dr. Teray?
Aye.
Mr. Latham?
Aye.
All aye.
All right, we'll move to executive session, and Superintendent Collins, is there anybody beside yourself that we need to retain for that?
If Mr. Martin, please, on behalf of HR.
Well, Mr. Martin and Mr. Collins, if you could stay, everyone else, if you could please excuse us for executive session.
That's it. Rats deserting a sinking ship right
Merry
there.
Christmas and Happy New Year
No.
to everyone.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Stay safe.
Merry Christmas to all of you. Joe, Merry Christmas.
Good key.
You got a 360 here.
I need a, yes, ma'am.
I'll send it to you on RIF, whatever that is.
I was gonna ask.
Joanne's gonna come in and record the last little bit.
Okay.
So we're shutting that down.
Okay.
Shut down the live stream.
No wonder you couldn't.
We're just gonna get out of here.
Kept getting Iowa. What do you mean it's Ohio?
I think it was,
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Oh, where have I heard that before?